speak to your groups. I'm Lou Finfer. I've been a community organizer in Dorchester since 1970. So some of the events we're going to talk about today I know firsthand from having worked as a community organizer here. I still do community organizing. I'm with a group called Massachusetts Action for Justice, and we're going to talk about what happened between 1968 and 1972, and how this community, which was then 2/3 plus white, and the whites were probably 3/4 Jewish and 1/4 Irish Catholic, and how that community by 1972 was about 80% African American, and how that happened in 4 years, and how that happened in 4 years, and the consequences to the Jewish community and the consequences to the African American community, because we're going to talk about a whole set of scandals and hardships that were encountered by both. But we're going to go outside soon, but let me set the stage. In April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King was assassinated. 3 days later, 5,000 African Americans met at White Stadium, which is a stadium in Franklin Park, and they issued 21 demands under a group called the Black United Front. How many here know who Mel King is? Good. And how many here know who Chuck Turner is? So Mel King and Chuck Turner were among the community leaders who organized that, along with other people. And Byron Rushing also was involved in that. So the establishment of Boston was shaken by that, and they came up with 3 initiatives, not consulting with the Black United Front, but came up with their own initiatives. And we're going to talk about, I don't know if there's time for the other 2, but this is the main one. They came up with an initiative to increase home ownership for African Americans. And the program was a consortium of 15 banks. It was called Boston Banks Urban Renewal Group, or BBUR. As Marlon said, mortgages were made available, and we'll talk about the kind of mortgages that were made available during this presentation. They were what were called FHA insured mortgages, which were generally 3% down payment, so they were a lower down payment than conventional mortgages, which were 15 to 20% down payment. But as in the course of this presentation, you'll see the problems with only offering FHA insured mortgages. And the other thing, as Marlon said, in a kind of redlining, they restricted the mortgages to the existing African American neighborhoods, which was then South End and Roxbury, and the northern part of Dorchester. And the mortgages were basically only available in the western part of Dorchester, Franklin Park, Franklin Field, this neighborhood, and Mattapan. As Marlon said, you couldn't go to Hyde Park, you couldn't go to Quincy, you couldn't go to Newton, you could go to Sharon with this program, only those neighborhoods. So we'll talk about the consequences of that. So maybe what we could do is go outside, and right across the street, maybe we can assemble kind of toward the back of the church across the street, and talk about this, and we'll walk mostly in this area. And so let's go. And again, my apologies for being late. Okay. Yeah, I can.